things that once we have understood them to a certain degree, what it would take to overturn them is just absurd and worldview altering. It's not like people are just arbitrarily making up things and saying, hey, this is the new science fad. They're based on evidence, and science changes its positions based on evidence.
Why? Not every single time, but they do change every.
Corey, why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. What I'm trying to say.
Then why are you raising it up?
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you're not a scientist, you're just believing what other people are telling you.
No, we explained to you why we take science seriously. We don't have to be a scientist to understand that what scientists do makes sense, works, and is important.
Okay. Do you guys believe in extraterrestrials?
I think it's incredibly unlikely that there are not intelligent living things somewhere out in space. But do I think any of them have landed on the Earth? No.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's all I pretty much wanted to know. What do you guys think after people die?
They're dead.
I know they're dead. So you don't believe in sin at all, right? That's basically what you guys are telling me?
Don't believe what?
Sin. Basically, if you die, you're a bad person, you go to hell.
Okay. Sin is a set of rules written down by the followers of a particular religion. Since we don't follow that particular religion, we don't agree necessarily that that set of rules of right and wrong. We have an idea of what's right and what's wrong. We just don't get it from that.
But as far as afterlife and heaven and hell, no, there's no reason to believe any of that. Matter of fact, there's good reason to disbelieve it and believe that it's false.
Okay. Well, I'm not too much into religion either, but something that I do believe in is basically, God is basically somebody who is more better than you, or in every single way. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? This is just the word that
Superman.
people are just trying to say. It's just, it's God.
So
what is God?
That's not our job. You tell us what God is, and we'll look at that and tell you whether we believe that there is such a thing.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck, you guys.
Sure.
Thanks for your call, Corey. That was actually kind of fun.
God is the Supermensch. We've got Pat in Pasadena. How are you?
Pat, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Pat.
How are you today?
We're good.
Good. I just wanted to call in. I had several issues. I'm a Christian, but I'm not the Christian I'm not the type of Christian that the traditional Christian.
So you're not like I used to be?
I don't know how you used to be.
Okay.
Good answer.
I do believe in God, but I don't believe that Jesus is God.
Okay.
I believe that Jesus is part of God, like we all are, and I don't believe that God is a person. I believe in my meditations, I've come to realize, because I was born and raised Baptist traditional religion, but it makes sense.
Me too.
And stuff has to make sense. And when I started meditating, I entered into the energy that's inside of us. And it's like a whole world that's inside of us. But it's deep, deep, deep inside of us. And after realizing that, I realized that it's all energy.
Okay, stop. How do you know any of this? You're meditating and you say you entered the energies that are deep inside of us. That's nonsensical until you explain it.
Okay. Well, I left my body.
How do you know?
Because I could feel it. I could feel the energy inside me. I didn't know what it was at the point. I really didn't know what it was. But it was kind of scary.
Okay. If you didn't know what it was, how did you find out what it was?
Because when I started telling everybody about my experience, everybody thought I was crazy except one person.
And the person who didn't think you were crazy said you left your body.
No, what she had studied metaphysics. And she told me I was being introduced to metaphysics because everything I told her was stuff she had studied and read about, and I had never studied or read about it.
Okay, the type of thing you're talking about when you say metaphysics isn't anything that's demonstrably real. There's nobody with any demonstrable expertise in it, and it's no different from the one person who didn't think you were crazy just making stuff up.
No, metaphysics, the way we explain the spiritual metaphysics, is understanding life from the physical realm as well as the invisible realm.
What invisible realm, and how do you know it exists?
Because I was there. I've seen people that were there that had passed on to the next dimension.
But Pat, you said you didn't know what it was.
No, and when
somebody else told you what they thought it was, and now you're telling us that that's what it was. The thing is, we're not convinced by that person who told you that what you experienced was a metaphysical realm.
Well, when she told me that they were gifts of the Spirit, and when she also said that because she had studied the life of Jesus, that these were some of the gifts that he had. And
I was told not to go swimming until 30 minutes after I ate. Does that make it true?
No, but the stuff that I saw was undeniable.
Okay. Well, we could prove you wrong by just denying it right now, but that won't make for a very good conversation. It clearly is deniable because it's just your word over everybody else's, except for those occasional people who have reached the same conclusion as you. The only evidence you've got, Pat, the only evidence you've given us for why we should take what you're saying seriously as, as representative of some real metaphysical realm is because this other person told you so.
Well, I proved it in my own life.
Okay, how can somebody else prove it?
No.
How can somebody else?
If you're willing to do the work, you have to do the work.
I understand. I'm asking, what process can somebody go through to prove this? And if it's demonstrable, why is it that you and a couple other people have managed to do this and nobody's won a Nobel Prize for this?
Because, a lot of people are spiritually lazy when it comes down to doing the work. They'd rather take somebody else's work for what's true instead of searching out for themselves.
Okay, you don't know how science works. Do you realize that grad students all across the world would love to find a method to demonstrate the thing that you're talking about, because it would instantly catapult them from grad student to world-famous Nobel Prize-winning, world-changing scientist?
You know what? Well, I give an experience. I'll tell you what to do. It's up to the person to do it, to reach that part of science. In fact, you do it, and let's talk next week when you come back on.
Sure, but let me tell you, if it involves holding a mirror under running water and being tied, okay, because that's been done before. Go ahead.
Just go get into a quiet place and sit quietly and do deep breathing, slowly and rhythmically.
Do I need a bag?
No. And as you're breathing, just ask yourself, who am I?
Okay.
And it may take a while. It may take a half an hour. It may take an hour. It may take 2 hours, but I guarantee you, if you ask yourself, who am I, long enough, you will get an experience that you've never experienced in your life.
Okay, let me ask you this, Pat.
Okay.
How do I know that this experience is anything that ties to reality? Because when I ask this question, who am I, if I sit there long enough and, reach whatever state it is, I don't necessarily know that what I'm receiving is real. And if Jeff does it, he's likely to get a different answer because his question, who am I, involves Jeff. So there can be no correlation between different people's experiences in this.
I understand.
Okay, so that's not anything that we could scientifically demonstrate.
But let me tell you, because I did this, the first time I did it, it took me about 3 hours because I was determined to sit there until I heard something, because I was listening to a regular traditional religious station, and the minister said, do this, and he said, you will hear that you're a child of God and you're loved and beauty and all this stuff.
And you don't think that your determination, you don't think that your determination to sit there until you heard something had any effect on the results that you got?
Well, yeah, I think so, because I sat there because I was determined I was going to see if he knew what he was talking about. But what I got was something totally different. And it changed my life from traditional religion, even though I'm a Christian, but it changed my ideas of traditional religion.
So you got something that's totally different, and you take that as confirmation. So if we're in the laboratory...
You intentionally...
What actually happened to the crucifixion.
Pat, you sat there, and you performed this exercise that is not how you normally, go about your daily life. You breathed deeply, and you kept at it until you had a strange experience, and then you have assumed that meant something. And the thing is, you're getting ahead of yourself. You're getting ahead of yourself. I mean...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just get so excited. Go ahead.
You know, I've done when I was a little kid and an idiot, and it was a stupid thing that kids in my high school were doing.
No,
Let me finish. When it was a stupid thing kids in my high school were doing, I was doing deep breathing and then getting kind of dizzy and falling over. And that's actually a dangerous, stupid thing to do, but that was an experience unlike any I had ever had. And if I had been in the state of mind that, you know, I was looking for some kind of sense of a supernatural thing, I easily could have jumped to the conclusion that that's what I got.
And similarly,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and similarly, we've done tests. There are scientists doing tests right now by stimulating portions of the brain that give people experiences that they universally declare are divine. And by the way, you could take hallucinogenic drugs and other drugs, you know, salvia, LSD, whatever, that would produce an experience that is unlike any other, that many people liken to divine experiences. My point is that this is the type of thing that you should expect to happen when you mess with your brain, which, by the way, deep breathing is going to do, and when you train your brain to expect a particular result, which is exactly what you're doing. So what I'm asking is, you have offered nothing to demonstrate that what you experienced maps to anything real. Is it not true that it could still just be a product of your brain?
No, because the brain in of itself doesn't work without this energy, which we call soul.
Okay, no.
What energy? What energy are we talking about?
Now you've just gone and made a circular argument.
No, okay. What I'm trying to say is, this is the way I solved the crucifixion. What actually happened at the crucifixion because of the experience that I had. I've solved. In fact, I've just written a book about it.
Well, I'm glad that you saw it, but you know, and I'll sit down and do some deep breathing, and maybe we can talk about it again. But